All right, bro.
Yep, let's do it.
We're not grabbing anything off the shelf. We're not just slapping our logo on a product that already existed. Everything we do is truly custom and built from the ground up.
Ryan and I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, where the outdoors really had a big influence in our upbringing. When we were young, we knew that if we were going to have much, we needed to work for it. We became accustomed to working with our hands and being resourceful at a young age.
I went off to college, and then Andrew went to the Marines. We kind of went our separate ways for 4 years.
I had 1 year left in my Marine Corps contract. Ryan had approached me with the idea to start a watch company.
So I hadn't really told anybody about the product. I remember being nervous, and I showed him our first prototype, and his reaction was like, I'm in.
Invested that initial deployment check.
And it was go time. To work with our manufacturers and our suppliers to invest in everything from the molds and the tooling, some of the machinery that cuts our wood bezels and links.
Yeah, when we first started, we wanted to use exotic hardwoods, rosewood, vera wood, burl wood, ebony wood. These were all woods that connected us to nature and the outdoors, but we incorporated 316L steel that was as rugged and dependable for the guys that we grew up with.
We wanted to use reliable movements from day one. We always say it's a game of millimeters in watches, because it truly is. For us, we've always been committed to pushing the boundaries and seeing how we can take things and evolve. We didn't want to just get stuck on exotic hardwoods. Andrew always would say, if these materials could talk, what are the stories they would tell? Over a glass of whiskey one night, we're sitting there going, what if we used reclaimed whiskey barrels?
Yeah, using reclaimed materials is the most sustainable thing that we can do as a company.
That's when the fun really got started.
The biggest companies in the world were taking notice to what we were doing, and they wanted us to tell their story.
The New York Yankees, Boston Red Sox, Chicago Cubs, Golden State Warriors, Jack Daniels, Grand Ole Opry, Ryman Auditorium.
We now tie in a lot of our product to charities, like our military collection gives back to Active Valor. Our Taylor Guitars collection makes sure veterans get their hands on Taylor guitars. One that means a lot to us is the Forest Fire collection. Since its infancy, we've planted a tree for every watch that we've sold. We just passed 750,000 trees, on our way to 1 million trees. 250,000 pounds of plastic out of the ocean. These are just things that we know that we can do as a community, and 12 years of history, 1 full lap around the clock.
We're building watches to commemorate you.
You know, over the years, we focused on our legacy, and now we want to focus on your legacy.